Today's top stories. Iran's former president Mohammad Khatami said on Wednesday that he has never been a Holocaust denier, but argued that today's situation in the Palestinian territories was similar to the Holocaust and should also be condemned. In an interview with the Australian Broadcasting Corporation's Lateline television program, Khatami said, quote, "The Holocaust was a reality that happened in Europe, and in my opinion, it was a tragedy." He added, "And today any act similar to the Holocaust should be condemned, no matter where, whether it is an anti-Semitism happening in Europe or actions against the downtrodden people of Africa, in Palestine against the Palestinians, and anywhere that an act of genocide is happening." Khatami's visit to Australia had been the subject of controversy, as the Jewish community described him as a Holocaust denier, a sponsor of terrorism, and the former leader of a country that has called for Israel's destruction. Iran said on Friday that it has no plans to hold talks with the United States at a regional meeting today in Moscow aimed at bringing stability to Afghanistan. The meeting, held by the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, which groups China, Russia, and Central Asian states, comes days before a broader United Nations-led international conference on Afghanistan on March 31st in The Hague. Iranian Deputy Foreign Minister Mehdi Akhundzadeh said, quote, "We are only here to discuss Afghanistan's problems." The U.S. State Department also said last week that there were no plans for American diplomats to meet the Iranian delegation in Moscow. Meanwhile, a U.S. official who spoke on condition of anonymity told the AFP today that Afghanistan could be a very productive area for engagement between Washington and Tehran. Akbar Hashemi Rafsanjani, head of the Expediency Council in today's Friday prayer sermon in Tehran, praised and endorsed the response of Iran's leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei to U.S. President Barack Obama's recent overtures to Iran, and says the U.S. should show its offerings of change through action rather than rhetoric. Hashemi Rafsanjani said, quote, "At the start of the new year, the American president sent a video message to the Iranian people and officials in which he said he was willing to talk to Iran, but some of his expressions were more telling than the message itself." He went on to say that if Obama wanted to talk to Iran, he should have avoided using words which implied that Iran supports terrorism and is after acquiring nuclear weapons. Hashemi Rafsanjani added, quote, "For 40-50 years, America has been cruel in its behavior towards the Iranian people. It should revise this behavior," adding that as an example of show of goodwill, the U.S. could at least unfreeze Iran's assets which they are holding unjustly. These stories and more at televisionwashington.com.